Both the university and the program have a certain set of expectations around integrity of your work in the program, and frankly, of your professional integrity as well. The idea is that we want to make sure that the people who are graduating the program are demonstrating that they have these skills, right? Because we are putting our imprimatur on it. We want to make sure that the community as a whole upholds a certain level of ethical behavior. And we want to graduate students who go on to professional careers that uphold that standard as well. So at a very basic level, we have the same standards for academic integrity that the entire university does. We expect you to not engage in plagiarism. That is to say, when you use others' work, you need to make sure that you are citing it. If it is a direct quotation, you need to put quotation marks around that citation. If it is not a direct quotation and you're using someone else's ideas, you need to make sure you're citing those ideas. This is basic stuff that hopefully you've learned in your undergraduate career. We will be very careful about making sure that if you do violate those basic levels of plagiarism, that we will pursue that pretty aggressively, because it reflects poorly not just on yourself, but on us as a faculty and on your peers. And so we will make sure that those of you who might, for some reason, engage in plagiarism are no longer in the program. This is if you at some point have a question about citation, that's what we're here for as faculty. So come talk to us. If you are under incredible amounts of stress, this is a great time for you not to engage in any form of plagiarism. Obviously, this also extends to things like cheating on tests or having someone else do the work for you. That doesn't mean that you cannot get help on things. You can get help on your writing. You can get help on your research. You can get consultations. You can even get people helping you on pieces of your work, as long as you are very clear about where that work has come from and who has done it. If you go and have someone help you with your writing and read over your work and help you to edit it, generally, talk to your instructor, but generally that is not considered a violation of ethics, as long as you are explicit about having used that resource. This is also true of tools. We now have large language models that can help you to write things, so not very well in many cases. And we don't want to say don't use these or don't use any resource, but you do need to make sure that when you do use resources like that, you make a note that says, I've used this resource, so that we know how to judge what you've done more effectively. So broadly, those are the sets of problems that kind of surround the work in the program. Of course, you also have a course in ethics and professional ethics. And so it extends beyond this to think more broadly about what it means to be of service to your communities, to society as a whole, and to interact as a professional with the responsibilities that come with that kind of professionalism. And so we'll talk more about that in the coursework itself. I strongly encourage you, even if you think you already know, to go over the materials that are university-wide for academic integrity and some of the materials we have locally for academic integrity. And also sometimes the courses themselves will have content that will address this. And I hope that you will not just assume that you already know all this stuff and don't have to think about it, but that you'll engage these things. Those of us who've worked in the field for our whole lives still need to think very seriously about the ethics of what we do at each stage. It's not something you just learn and then leave behind you. And so all of your work should be engaged in this question of both integrity and kind of ethical application.